What's up, y'all? I wanted to do a follow-up video clarifying some things from my Dragon Quest Dai Dragon Ball video where I'm telling Dragon Ball fans to check out Dragon Quest Dai. Dragon Quest Dai no Bouken, The Adventure of Dai, or shorter, you can call it just Dragon Quest Dai, is coming out in the fall of 2020, and I wanted to discuss a little bit of behind-the-scenes information about the series and things that you may or may not know. Toriyama's involvement in the series and some confusion I want to clarify. First of all, Toriyama did not create Dragon Quest, nor did he write the story. It was Yuji Horii that created Dragon Quest and wrote the story. Toriyama's part in the creation of Dragon Quest is that he drew the characters, both the good guys and the monsters, for every mainline Dragon Quest game and even some of the side games as well, dating all the way back to 1986. 1986 is the year that Dragon Ball started on television, so Toriyama had his plate pretty full with a lot of projects, not just writing the Dragon Ball manga week to week, but also working on Dragon Quest, and he's always made time to work on Dragon Quest every single game, as well as other games like Chrono Trigger. But like I said, his part in Dragon Quest is just to be the artist of the series. He's the one who creates the aesthetic, he creates the world, so to speak. Even though it's Yuji Horii's vision, Toriyama's the one that brings it to life, and he gives his designs to the team at Square Enix, whoever the developers are for whatever game, because they change with every Dragon Quest game, and then they go and they take his art and they render it or whatever they have to do to make it into, or to put it into the games. Now, as far as creative decisions and storylines go, that's not Toriyama at all, that's Yuji Horii. Now, some people have pointed out that some Dragon Quest titles have similarities to Dragon Ball, and that's certainly the case as well, without question. And you can't deny that Toriyama's manga has had influence far beyond what he originally intended. So, when you have scenes in Dragon Quest XI that kind of resemble Toriyama's manga, that's definitely sort of a tribute to one of the main players in creating this entire video game franchise. The three main guys behind Dragon Quest are Yuji Horii, Koichi Sugiyama, who does the music, and Akira Toriyama, who does the art. Horii is the storyteller. However, when it comes to Dragon Quest Dai no Bouken, one has to understand that this is not a character or a story that's part of a main Dragon Quest video game. The Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai manga, which is where this whole new anime is going to be adapted from, is written by Riku Sanjo and drawn by Koji Inada. Now, Koji Inada takes Toriyama's original designs for the monsters and the, that sort of aesthetic that Toriyama brought to the video games and imports it into the manga. So you're going to have similar art, a similar art style with every Dragon Quest manga and every Dragon Quest everything, because Toriyama kind of built that, but it's not necessarily from the pen of Toriyama. Toriyama, to this day, still draws the monsters and the characters for all the video games, but he was not involved in the manga whatsoever. All that happened was they took his designs and his style, right, and put it into the manga. That's pretty much how it works. Now, with that being said, Yuji Horii is supposed to have some sort of supervisor role with the story of this new anime, or at the very least, Horii will be a creative consultant for the series because the world was, of course, envisioned by him all the way back in the mid-80s. The guy who will be in charge of this series is someone who Dragon Ball fans should probably know, or at least now you will know, and that's Kazuya Kurosawa. And I did speak to Mr. Kurosawa, and this information is not private, so I can publicize this, but I did ask him about this, and I asked him about his involvement in Dragon Quest Dai, and he responded back by saying, and I quote, "I will do my best to make Dai's Grand Adventure the best anime. The support of many fans will help, and I'm very thankful for you." So that's what he told me when we spoke. So Kurosawa worked on Dragon Ball Super. He's one of the guys behind the direction of Dragon Ball Super, and he's been involved in, a lot of different anime throughout the years. Dragon Quest Dai is his new big project. On top of that, he was also one of the storyboard artists for Dragon Ball Super Broly. Also, Naotoshi Shida and a few other major players who worked on Dragon Ball Super are going to be helping out for this series. But this series is not going to start until the fall of 2020, which is sometime around October or November. So it'll be a while, and they'll be pre-planning it for a bit before it actually begins. And we don't know how many episodes it'll be yet, but once I find out, I'll make a video on it, because I do plan on covering Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai here on Geekdom 101, because I love Dragon Quest. I have forever. Dragon Quest is my absolute favorite thing. I love it even more than Dragon Ball. And just to clarify, like I said before, Dai is not a video game, but Dai will be getting a new video game in 2020, the first time ever that Dai has been in a video game of his own. Of course, many of you will know that Dai was playable in Jump Force because he is a Shonen Jump character, because the manga was published in Weekly Shonen Jump. So if you play one of the main Dragon Quest games, Dai is not playable, but the world that Dai it was inspired from is the world of Dragon Quest. With that being said, I will bring this video to a close. Thanks for watching. I hope that clarified some things. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and we'll answer them on future videos or maybe some Q&As. We'll see. Thank you again, and we'll talk soon.